Good morning, my sweet little friends. It's really early in the morning. It is 5:21 and I am having my coffee and wanted was just thinking about everything that's been going on right now. And I know how hard it is that we are stuck at home and we're not getting to do some of the fun stuff that we love to do. And I'm not getting to see you this morning like I should be able to do. And it makes me really sad. So while I was sitting there thinking about all the things I wish I was doing, I started thinking about all the things that I really do have that are wonderful and awesome. And how I am grateful that I have those things. I have a wonderful mommy and daddy that would do anything for me and anything for Madden. I have a cute little house that's all mine and Madden's, and I have Madden. I get to see his in a little bit. I get to go upstairs and wake him up, and his face, you guys, I wish I had the camera upstairs so you could see it. He goes, and he gets so excited. And those are things I'm thankful for. Um, and of course, you guys know I have the zoo here, Maximus and Baker and Woogs, and they give me love and cuddles all the time. So I am thankful for them. And my sweet boarder is still at my parents' house, and I miss him very much. But I am thankful that I've had him for so many years. So it made me think about what story I wanted to read to you today. And I want to read Those Shoes. Because really it's a story about being thankful in the end and knowing that what we have is enough. It really is. So, this is Those Shoes by Mary Beth Bolts. Baker says, good morning, you guys. All right, before I start this, let's sing our song. Good morning, good morning, good morning, how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. I'm so glad to see you. I almost couldn't wait. Can you smile that smile and make today great? Okay, so we're not going to have a language arts lesson with this story, but I am going to ask you to predict. So at one point in the story, I'm going to stop and pause and ask you to pause the video, and I want you to think about a prediction of what's going to happen. Now, if you've heard this story before, because this is an amazing story, you might have heard it before. When I pause for the prediction, if you've already heard it and you know what's going to happen, I want you to pause and think about, what would I do if I were the main character? Would you do the same thing, or would you do something different? Okay. Those shoes. Before I start, let me ask you a question so that you can get a feeling, a connection to the book. Have you ever wanted something so bad? All of your friends have it, or someone, a basketball player or a soccer player has it, and you think it's so cool and you want it so bad. Well, that is a feeling that comes up with our main character today, and I know it's something you can probably relate to. So keep that in mind as we read Those Shoes. Those shoes. I have dreams about those shoes. black high tops, 2 white stripes. So it looks like this is an advertisement that is painted on the side of a building. And if this is our main character, where are you inferring that he lives? Does he live in the country or does he live in the city? I'm guessing by the buildings that he must be in a city. Grandma, I want them. There's no room for want round here, just need, Grandma says. And what you need are new boots for winter. So he's telling Grandma he wants them. But she's saying, what is she saying when she says there's no room around here for want? It sounds like they don't have money for extra shoes. He needs new winter boots, not new tennis shoes, not new high tops. And if he's asking Grandma for it, that must mean he lives with Grandma. Brandon T comes to school in those shoes. He says he's the fastest runner now. Not me. I was always the fastest before those shoes came along. Nate comes to school in those shoes. Antonio and I count how many times Nate goes to the bathroom. 7 times. In one day, just so he can walk up and down the hall real slow. Next, Alan Jacoby and Terrence each get a pair. Then, one day, in the middle of kickball, one of my shoes comes apart. Looks like you could use a new pair, Jeremy, Mr. Alfrey, the guidance counselor, says. He brings out a box of shoes and other stuff he has for kids who need things. He helps me find the only shoe that are my size. Velcro. Like the ones my little cousin Marshall wears. They have an animal on them from a cartoon that I don't think any kid ever watched. Uh-oh, guys. How do you think he's feeling right now? When I come back to the classroom, Alan Jacoby takes one look at my Mr. Alfrey shoes and laughs. And so do Terrence, Brandon T, and everyone else. The only kid not laughing is Antonio Parker. At home, Grandma says, "How kind of Mr. Alfrey." I nod and turn my back. I'm not going to cry about any dumb shoes. But when I'm writing my spelling words later, every word looks like the word shoes. And my grip is so tight on my pencil, I think it might bust. Look at him about to enter the classroom, guys. It looks like he's feeling very scared to walk in there. And there he is, thinking about it at night. On Saturday, Grandma says, "Let's check out those shoes you're wanting so much. I got a little bit of money set aside. Might be enough. You never know." At the shoe store, Grandma turns those shoes over so she can check the price. When she sees it, she sits down heavy. What do you think that means? She sits down heavy. Maybe they wrote it down wrong, I say. But Grandma shakes her head. Then I remember the thrift shops. What if there's a rich kid who outgrew his or got 2 pairs for Christmas and had to give one of them away. We ride the bus to the first thrift shop. Black cowboy boots, pink slippers, sandals, high heels, every kind of shoes except the ones I want. We ride the bus to the second thrift shop. Not a pair of those shoes in sight. Around the corner is the third thrift shop. I see something in the window. So are you guys noticing that because they don't have a lot of money, they're looking for the clothes in a second-hand shop or a thrift shop? And it's a way to save money because it's nice things that someone doesn't need anymore, and so they resell them in a thrift shop or a second-hand shop. And they're kind of a secret gem. I'll be honest. I've gotten a lot of stuff at the thrift shop or the second-hand shop. You can get really nice stuff. And did you hear them say that they rode the bus to these stores? So they don't have a car. They ride the bus. So buying a new pair of expensive shoes sounds like it's really not something that they can afford to do. So in that thrift shop there are black shoes with 2 white stripes, high tops, perfect shape. $2.50. Those shoes! My heart is pounding hard as I take off my shoes and hitch up my baggy socks. How exciting, Grandma says. What size are they? I shove my foot into the first shoe, curling my toes to get my heel in. I don't know, but I think they fit. Do shoes fit, you guys, if we have to curl our toes? Grandma kneels on the floor and feels for my toes at the end of the shoe. Oh, Jeremy, she says, I can't spend good money on shoes that don't fit. I pull the other shoe on and try to walk around. They're okay, I say, holding my breath and praying that my toes will fall off right then and there. But my toes don't fall off. I buy them anyway with my own money, and I squeeze them on, and I limp to the bus stop. He wanted them so badly, you guys, that he's willing to have feet that hurt and make him limp to be able to get them. He really wanted them. At home, a few days later, Grandma puts a new pair of snow boots in my closet and doesn't say a word about my 2 big feet shuffling around in my 2 small shoes. Sometimes shoes stretch, I say. Grandma gives me a hug. I check every day, but those shoes don't stretch. I have to wear my Mr. Alfrey shoes to school instead. One day during math, I glance at Antonio's shoes. One of them is taped up, and his feet look smaller than mine. After school, I head to the park to think. Antonio is there, the only kid who didn't laugh at my Mr. Alfrey shoes. Why do you guys think Antonio didn't laugh at him? If Antonio's shoes are taped up, it sounds like he probably understood how he was feeling. We shoot baskets. A loose piece of tape on Antonio's shoes smacks the concrete every time he jumps. I think, I'm not gonna do it. We leap off the swings. I'm not gonna do it. We race from one end of the playground to the other. I'm not going to do it, I say. Do what? Antonio says, breathing hard. All right, guys, I'm going to pause right there for a second. I want you to hit pause, and I want you to make a prediction. What do you think is going to happen? If you've heard the story before and you know what's going to happen, I want you to think about, would I have done the same thing? Okay. All right. Hopefully you paused and made a prediction. Okay, let's see if your prediction is correct. Grandma calls me for supper and invites Antonio over too. After supper, he spies my shoes. How come you don't wear 'em? Antonio asks. I shrug. My hands are sweaty. I can feel him wishing those shoes were his. That night, I am awake for a long time thinking about Antonio. When morning comes, I try on my shoes one last time. Before I can change my mind, the shoes are in my coat. Snow is beginning to fall as I run across the street to Antonio's apartment. I put the shoes in front of his door, push the doorbell, and run. Here he is running. Did you predict he was going to do that? At school, Antonio is smiling big in his brand new shoes. I feel happy when I look at his face, and mad when I look at my Mr. Alfrey shoes. But later, when it's time for recess, something happens. Everywhere there is snow. Leave your shoes in the hall and change into your boots, the teacher announces. Leave your shoes in the hall. It's then I remember what I have in my backpack. New boots. New black boots that no kid has ever worn before. Standing in line to go to recess, Antonio leans forward and says, "Thanks." I smile and give him a nudge. Let's race. All right, you guys, what'd you think? So as it turns out, it was more important to him to make his friend feel better and help when he could and show kindness when he could than to hold on to the shoes that really they were never going to be what he wanted them to be, were they? But for his friend, they really could make a difference. And then he realized what he did have, his boots, his grandma, his friendship, it was enough. So then he realized that he was happy. And the shoes weren't going to change that. So today I want you to think about, what can you do that's kind and can make someone else happy and can really do something for them? It doesn't have to be about you. It can be about making someone else better, right? So think about what you have in your life that you are thankful for, and think about how could you spread some kindness. And when we have our class meeting, I would like you to please share with us an act of kindness that you have done recently. No one asked you to do it, you just did it. An act of kindness, so that we can all celebrate how wonderful you are just because of your good hearts. And I know that you all have good hearts. So I am also very thankful for you. And I cannot wait to see you in the class meeting. And that is the end of our Read Aloud today. This is a fantastic book. Might be something that you want to read on your own and kind of really absorb how he's feeling and what he does. All right, you guys. In a few short hours, I will see you in the class meeting. And I'm also going to post another video about the class meeting so that you are ready. All right. I miss you. Can't wait to see you. Bye.